Hey everyone, before we jump in, just the usual friendly reminder. This is all for educational purposes. It's definitely not financial advice. Every investment has risks, so please, always do your own homework. All right, let's get right into it. We are doing a final status check on the PLAZM protocol. It is day 93 and the clock is literally ticking down. We are in the final hours before the single biggest token release this entire window has seen. A huge milestone is just hit, but right behind it is the system's biggest test yet. So, everything we're about to cover is happening right now, in the calm before the storm. The protocol has been gearing up for weeks for this very moment, and well, it's finally here. Okay, let's start in the situation room. We need to get grounded with a quick snapshot of the market as it stands just hours before that day 94 epoch change. You can feel the tension in the market. PLAZM is sitting at about 5.3 cents, down a couple of percent for the day. Meanwhile, eShare, the governance token, is trading just under 12 bucks, also down a bit. So this is our baseline heading into the main event. And now we get to the heart of it all. It's really a tale of two opposing forces. On one hand, we've got a massive deflationary win to celebrate, but that celebration is happening right in the shadow of the protocol's single biggest challenge to date. First, the good news, the milestone. Just today, the total burn supply of PLAZM officially crossed 8%. That's over 368,000 tokens that have been permanently wiped from existence. They are gone, forever. They can never, ever be sold. Now, what's really wild here is the speed. Just look at this timeline. We went from 3% burned on day 84 to 8% today. The pace has been absolutely relentless. We're talking about nearly 250,000 tokens destroyed in the last 9 days alone. But here comes the mountain. Tomorrow, day 94, the protocol is set to release over 732,000 PLAZM tokens. And it's really important to be transparent here. This number is actually higher than the 615,000 that was previously forecast. This is the absolute peak. And this chart just puts the scale of this thing into perspective. Today's release was about 172,000 tokens, tomorrow's 733,000. That is 4.3 times the pressure we saw today. It's a huge wall of supply. So the big question is the protocol ready for it?
And the answer is a resounding yes. The protocol hasn't just been sitting back and waiting. For the last 9 days, it has been actively fortifying its defenses, preparing for this exact event. Let's see how.
So this is the scoreboard for that 9-day prep window. Over 241,000 tokens burned. An extra 290,000 tokens have been locked into staking, which shows some serious long-term belief. Another $139,000 added to liquidity pools, making the market deeper, and almost 500 new bonds issued. Every single one of these metrics points to a stronger foundation. Okay, so the walls have been reinforced. Now let's take a look at the armor itself, the active financial defenses that are standing by, ready to deploy at a moment's notice. Right now, the protocol has a total of $46,900 in its defense pools. This is split between the buy and burn pools, which do exactly that, buy PLAZM to burn it, and the buy and build pools, which reinvest capital back into the protocol. This is the cash on hand, ready to absorb selling.
And here's the best part. These defenses aren't just sitting there. They are constantly being refilled by actual economic activity. Just yesterday, $365 in real yield from things like trading fees was added to the protocol's profits. This is real, sustainable revenue that keeps funding the armor.
Okay, so we've seen the challenge, we've seen the active defenses. Let's do one final check on the supply landscape itself. With just a few hours left, what does the total PLAZM distribution actually look like right now?
This chart lays it all out. You've got 44% of the supply that is liquid, meaning it's in wallets and could potentially be sold. But check out the rest. 32% is staked. 16% is in liquidity pools, helping trades happen smoothly. And of course, our celebrated 8% that's been burned forever. And that brings us to the most important number on this entire chart, 56%. More than half of all PLAZM that exists is currently protected. It's either locked in staking, providing market liquidity, or already destroyed. It is simply not available to create sell pressure on the market tomorrow. And now, we come to maybe the most critical piece of context in this entire breakdown. We've talked a lot about the peak of day 94, but what happens on day 95? Because, well, this changes everything. Just look at this graph. This is the release schedule immediately after tomorrow. Day 94 is that massive spike at 733,000. But the very next day, day 95, releases absolutely plummet to just 228,000. And they just keep falling. This isn't a new normal of high emissions. It's a single massive peak followed by a sheer cliff.
Let's put a hard number on that cliff. The token release pressure drops by a staggering 69% in the 24 hours between day 94 and day 95. That's the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's visible just beyond tomorrow's peak.
So let's pull it all together for the final verdict. The challenge is understood, the preparations have been made, the context is crystal clear. Here is the final status check. Let's run the final checklist. 8% burn milestone hit? Check. Over 1.5 million tokens staked? Check. Nearly 800,000 in liquidity pools? Check. 56% of the supply protected? Check. Almost $47,000 in defense pools online and ready? Check. And real yield flowing in daily? Check. Every system is green. So that's where we stand. 8% burned. 733,000 tokens incoming. 69% drop after tomorrow. The final boss arrives in hours. 9 days of preparation complete. The protocol is ready. As always, please remember this isn't financial advice. Any investment like this carries significant risk, and you should never put in more than you're willing to lose. Please always do your own deep dive research. Stay safe out there.